uh, 2 a.m. with Jason. Hope you guys are doing well. Um, Spies. I really thought about wearing a disguise for this one tonight. Um, it's Luke chapter 20, uh, especially verse 20 is what we're looking at. And, we don't like people spying on us. We really don't like that. Whether it be on the basketball court, whether it be on, the football field. I mean, it's another good reason to hate the New England Patriots, but we just don't like spies. We don't like when someone is driving by our house, seemingly makes us squeamish, kind of like, wait, what are they doing over there? We don't like them, and and so what do? We build high fences. We cover our answers on tests, right? We try to use code or symbols, some way of like, I don't want to make sure that the other baseball team, Houston Astros, is spying on us because we don't like it. And Jesus confronts some spies in Luke 20, verse 20, and he gets to a part that really hits home for a lot of us. It says they were insincere. They were there, they were listening, but they really weren't listening. They're nodding along because they had their own thing that they wanted to talk about, which is a real problem. And it really hurts us when we were insincere, when other people are insincere to us, whether it be someone you thought was your friend. I mean, that's one of the worst things that I am just so. Parker's already had a couple. He's like, man, I thought they were my friend, and it's like, like how? What do you do? What do you do? Um, and so if you're in the basketball court, you keep your guard up. If you're taking a test, like it's obvious, like this is what's going on here. But a lot of times, insincerity is something that you can't really see until, I don't say it's too late, but until the moment is there and gone. And so what do we do? Um, a couple things happen when we find out someone has been insincere to us. Our first thing we do tend to lash out, and we tend to say, you know what, this is crazy, blah 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 blah. Well, I never liked your casserole anyway, and stupid things like this. Another thing we do though is we put our shields up, and we say, I am not going to let anyone else get close enough to hurt me like that again. And so we keep our struggles to ourselves. We keep our commitments to ourselves. We just don't let anyone. We're not vulnerable anymore because we say, I don't want to get hurt. I don't want that. It didn't feel good. And we also become jaded a lot of times. And we say, you know what? I maybe you have never hurt me like this. But what if you do? So I'm just going to make sure that you don't get that chance. So I'm just going to kind of preemptively end these friendships or these accountability partners because I don't want to be in that place again. And it really limits what God has for us because God says, man, I I know what you've been through. In fact, 2 Corinthians 1 talks about, the God of all comfort, how we go through stuff sometimes to be able to comfort other people. And if we're not willing to talk about that, if no one knows, then how are we being that comfort that God has called us to be? God desires for us to be vulnerable, to be able to open up and show what a transformed life is like. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. No one, I don't want to speak for anyone else, but it is not perfect in this house and in my life. And so, but there's that case of, man, I have to look like him. I have to look. And that's not the answer. It's not looking right. It's saying, man, God, I want to be holy because you've called me to be holy. But to do what else I can. We have to know that God has bigger plans. It's not about us. The kingdom is not about us. It's about glorifying God. And so insincere people do hurt. They do. And if you talk to, if I'm sure all of you have stories of people that have hurt you with their insincerity. And yet God says, I've got more and I want to use you to minister. Are you willing to still be used even though you have been hurt in the past? Um, that's just my thought here. I'm not saying look for people in fake mustaches and things, although that would be humorous as well. We need to be willing to be vulnerable and say, man, you know what? Um, but by the grace of God go I, and and there have been some things I've messed up on, But God is good and has big plans. Um, so be willing to be vulnerable. That's the message. Have a good night, folks.